Hi everybody, we're back in AP Language and Composition or Junior English 101, whichever way you think of it. You are now working on your first unit essay. If you've done everything correctly, you should have already turned in your topic proposal, and you should have gotten some feedback from me as to whether or not your topic would work. Most of the topic proposals that I saw were fantastic. Even the ones that missed the mark a little bit seemed to have a really good idea of what you wanted to do. So that's good. There's nobody out there that I'm terribly worried about. You all seem to be working well. But you are in the midst of working on a paper that will require MLA documentation and a works cited page. Now, it will be a very simple works cited page. We're going to ease into that, and I will tell you, I don't want you to do any outside research for this paper, except whatever cultural artifact you've chosen, movie, television show, book, or video game. Now, I do have some people doing video games, so they're pretty cool, the topic proposals that I've looked at. So that will be one of your sources on your works cited page, and you will need to cite it in your text when you quote from it or paraphrase parts of it or anything like that. Anytime you mention a scene from a movie, make sure it's clear to the reader that you're talking about the movie. Anytime you quote it, you'll need to cite it somehow. Now, usually things like that, now the books are a little bit different. Those of you who are doing, say, Hunger Games, and you're doing the novel instead of the movie, of course, you know by this stage that you'll need to cite that by the author's name. Let's see, that's Suzanne Collins, am I right about that? In your text, it would look something like that. First word of the works cited entry, page number. Usually the first word of the works cited entry is someone's last name, but it doesn't have to be. So it's best to remember that as the first word of your works cited entry and not as just the author's last name. So if you're doing a book, your references to that novel will show up in this way. Now, movies, television shows, and video games, because they won't have page numbers like this, you can simply talk about them in the text. So the only important thing is that it's clear from your text that you are referring to something someone else has written. Your only other source should be the American Romanticism introduction that includes your list of characteristics that you have to, your criteria or characteristics that you have to use in order to establish the character you've chosen as an American romantic hero. So in that entry, everyone's works cited entry will look identical. You have the author of the essay itself. That's one essay out of an anthology. And if you were in the classroom, you would actually have one of these big books. It looks like this. I copied it for you, that little chunk. This is the author of the essay. Arpin, comma, Gary Q, period. Then the title of the piece, in quotation marks. Short pieces, short stories, song titles, poems, always in quotation marks. American Romanticism, 1800 to 1860, close quotes. Underlined or italicized, it's up to you. The title of the book. Now, you have no way of knowing this because you don't have the book in your possession. That's why I'm telling you. The title of the book is Elements of Literature, fifth course. Book editors, we designate that with an ED. Kylene, K-Y-L-E-N-E, Beers, B-E-E-R-S, and Lee, L-E-E, Odell, O-D-E-L-L, period. Austin, this is the primary city where the publishing house is located. In this case, it's Austin, Texas, colon. Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston is the title of the publishing company. 2007 is the copyright date. 162 through 73 are the pages where this essay lives, and print as opposed to online. So this will be on everyone's works cited page because you do have to use those criteria. I will give you in Google Classroom models for citing television, movie, video game, novel. And just in case you want to use it, although I wouldn't think you would, but just in case you do, I will also give you a model for citing a recorded speech in case you want to cite my lecture somehow. But please do not do outside research. I don't think you're quite ready to cite that properly yet, and we want to ease into that. The other thing about this week, as you're working on your paper, and you can choose to do this in your paper, or you can choose to do it in an email or some other way, but our word for the week is auspicious. This is a good ACT, SAT word. Or if it's easier for you to use in a sentence, you may also use its opposite, inauspicious. Either one. 10 points on your lowest existing formative grade. If you want that, I had several of you do that with Exemplify this week and got your 10 extra points. You know where I am if you need me. We will be working on papers all this week. We will be working on peer reviews. You'll have plenty of opportunity to get feedback from your peers. If you need anything from me, you know exactly where to find me. Please stay safe and take care.